Microeconomics students, hi, Catherine Robertson here, just touching base with an update on week 7. All right, you guys have been really working hard this semester. It's a lot of material. We have a discussion post, so this week 7 is pretty fun. We are working on chapters 12 and 13. 12 really focuses in on externalities, both negative and positive externalities that exist. So things that happen basically relative to an initial response to something or an activity, things that happen like a ripple effect. Sometimes good things happen out of, which we can find through data, out of a change or out of something new. But sometimes bad things happen, and those things can be costly when it comes down to looking at them from a quantitative perspective. And chapter 13 starts to talk about public goods and this idea that by charging a certain amount for things and having value placed from a monetary standpoint on certain items and certain goods and services, we are able to then control how those goods and services really are released or consumed. And so how do we then manage? How does the government, again, remember from a capitalistic model, we see that we do not want government intervention. So it'll be free, unfettered markets, right? Well, there are some markets that no actual for-profit organization would want to enter into because they can't figure out how to make money. And so public goods, and when we talk about things that are excludable or not excludable, private goods versus public goods, things like that, which is outlined in the public goods video, but also in chapter 13, it's important to think about some of the layered effects, right? That's really what this week is about, some of the other things that are happening out in the world that firms and the government both need to be cognizant of as we move forward in the economy. Your homework number 7, chapters 12 and 13 is up there, and I have that due, I think, next Tuesday for full credit. Again, if you are struggling at all with some of the coursework, please reach out to me, 814-490-6473. Shoot me a text or crobertson@ec3pa.org. There will be some bonus points on the final exam for you. I know a few of you struggle with the midterm and ask me about any maybe bonus points on the final. But again, your midterm is it's worth 12 percentage points. So for instance, if you got, 10 out of 12 or 8 out of 12, you're only missing a couple overall percentage points from the whole semester. So if you're turning in all your homework, you're doing the discussion posts, you turn in the project, which I'll get to in a minute. I'm circling back to that. All of those things build your grade. The exams are just a small portion of your grade. So even if you do poorly on an exam, that doesn't mean your whole grade is shifted. So look at that, chapters 12 and 13. There's also a discussion post there. Now, I did circle back with the project and put that here again for you. Again, remember, you've done projects if you've had other business courses. You've done short papers for me or other professors that you've had. And this, again, is a project that, and I think for lack of time, I'm going to eliminate the 4 to 5 slide summary with your voiceover. So you are just going to submit a paper, and I will make note of this. If you have questions, I will make note of it again next week. You are not responsible for the 4 to 5 slide summary presentation. I'm only going to have you work on the 3-page paper. And that is Times New Roman 12 point. And what you are doing, you can use a company that you've used for another class, maybe for your Business 101 class or for a marketing class or another class that you've taken or a class you took at another institution or maybe in high school. Now, you will look at that class, you will look at that company through a microeconomic lens. And so the best thing I would say is you could do a small company as well. If you know that company well enough, and you can look at that company for this course through a microeconomic lens. So for instance, you are going to use some of the terminology and topics that we have talked about throughout the semester, and just, it's really a reflection piece. And talk about the company, like think about the company as an entity, and what type of environment does it operate in? Is it in an oligopoly? And really, a lot of companies it's tricky. They're a little bit in the competitive perfect marketplace, or maybe they're kind of leaning toward a monopolistic marketplace, depending, right? Maybe they have certain competitors that are really big in their industry, anything like that that they are talking about. Those are items that are microeconomic. Firm costs. What are some of the inputs of the firm? Do they import a lot? So anything you can find out. So maybe you pick Nike. Are most of Nike factories in other countries? Are any of the countries that Nike operates in, um, are they maybe having political unrest? Or maybe there would be supply chain issues, right? Like we saw during COVID. Maybe it's a company that uses certain types of products that now are becoming more scarce, right? And so their costs are going to go up. Fuel costs affect a lot of companies because of shipping. Technology in certain areas affect a firm's costs. As new technologies arise, it can make things easier and cheaper. And so, if an industry in general could completely shift because of new technologies, and so if that is happening and a company is feeling that, there might also be new entrants because it's easy to get into an industry where the technology is dialed in and available to any company. So, elasticity, you could talk about if a firm, are there products, maybe pick a specific product and talk about its elasticity. These are items that you could even Google and find out elasticity. Uh, if are is the bulk of their products, are they elastic? Are they very price sensitive? Right? If you're a company that has a lot of products that are price sensitive, you're kind of you have to watch your pricing very carefully. Other companies that have products maybe that are less price sensitive or inelastic, as we would say, then maybe they need to look at pricing as a way to increase their revenues. So looking at those, looking at their product strategies, cost saving strategies, those are microeconomic items. And so that's what I want to see in the paper. If you have questions about the paper, you can reach out to me, crobertson at ec3pa.org. You could text me, 814-490-6473. We could meet virtually. I am on campus. We have, let's see, I'll be on campus tonight, tomorrow, possibly Thursday, probably not Friday. Next week, the campus is closed I'll be on campus Tuesday and Wednesday for sure, and all day Friday. However, the paper is due next Friday. There is a drop box there in week 8 for the paper. The only things that will be going on in week 8 are the paper is due and then the final exam during week 8, which my goal is to have that final exam posted this upcoming weekend. Uh, I know it's a holiday weekend, but have it posted, and then you will be able to start working on the exam. It's due by next Friday. Let's see. So in this week, if you have questions for me about the topics this week, or you're struggling at all to get work in, or you're not sure that you'll have everything in by next Friday, please, I've had a few students reach out to me in classes so far this semester. And if you're communicating with me, usually we can come up with some sort of plan. If you need any type of extra explanations or, again, to meet with me, please, please, please reach out. You're not alone. Everyone has unique situations going on. And I hope that you know that the instructors here, professors here at EC3 will make time and work with you on those fronts. So again, week 7, this is the last week of material, chapters 12 and 13, and then next week we'll just be turning in your project, turning in any work that you have not turned in yet. I give you partial credit for late work, so that is fine. Get it in, and then the final exam next week. So that is all next week. No new material. Have a wonderful afternoon.